Hey, showtime!
Hei, shwmai, pnawn da, Dom.
Prynawn da, sut wyt ti?
O, dwi'n dda iawn, diolch. Sut wyt ti?
Da iawn.
O,
I mean,
arbennig.
if I have a really bad day, I've got nothing to say.
Or in Welsh.
Yeah,
Oh, you could just say diflas. That's a good word.
diflas.
Yeah, it means, well, it literally means tasteless. Diflas.
Tasteless?
So D is, like a negative, and then blas is taste. But it means miserable or boring.
You're a culinary lot, aren't you?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Love some cawl, we do, see, Welsh cakes.
All about your senses.
Yeah.
Right, 2 people in the house.
All right.
Give us a little bit of chat. Give us some chat. Who's your money on? Who's in the house today?
Well, if there's anybody there from the Carmarthenshire, Pembrokeshire Middle Leaders Group, then you've been breaking some speed limits to get to a computer, my friend, because that's why I'm in my civvies today. We've just finished a really awesome networking meeting. Hey, Anthony, shwmai.
Good lad.
Nice to hear from you.
Ictid might be in as well. Ictid might be in.
Oh, Ictid might be there. Yeah. I tell you, if other folks don't have like a middle leaders networking group, then you should push to go and set up, because we get so much value out of this meeting.
And is it just focused on DigiTech or not?
No, so it's basically kind of, it used to be the old ICT heads of departments. Shwmai, Ictid.
There he is.
That is a cracking profile pic you got there, Ictid.
That's his Shuddy. Shuddy, boys.
Yeah, Shuddy. Yeah.
What does that mean? All right.
Well, Shuddy is kind of condensed, or Shudui. So like, Situit, how are you?
Oh, so right.
Kind of condense it down to Shuddy.
Shuddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
Shuddy, goody. Yeah, so it's in old money. It's the old ICT heads of department networking meeting. So
right.
Which sounds really boring, but it's amazing. So we've got, ours is Carmarthenshire and Pembrokeshire, and then we sometimes get a few guys down from Ceredigion or Swansea as well.
Right.
Kind of, Carmarthenshire's kind of in the middle of it, where I am, and then it's kind of half an hour each way, or up to an hour each way around in a big circle, really.
Right.
And then it's just a bunch of people that are all in the same boat, getting together and sharing problems and, working our way through them as a group.
Yeah, and is the in-person, is that crucial, do you think?
Oh, yeah, massively. Because, without saying too much, I've been to many official CPD sessions where people are basically afraid to tell things how they are, really. You know what I mean? They're so afraid of maybe slipping up or saying something that doesn't align with a spec quite right or something like that. And it doesn't really, it's not conducive to good conversations, is it? Being afraid of what you're saying. So just a group, hey, evening, how are you? It's just a group of people that are all, we're all running the same DigiTech GCSE. Some people do the computer science GCSE as well. There's groups of us that run the same courses at sixth form. We just all get together and say, right, okay, what's bothering us today? And so today now people were stressing a bit about Unit 2 DigiTech. Unit 2 DigiTech, and there's like this huge, if you remember, Dom, like a 75-page document that kids are meant to produce. So I kind of said, okay, well, I've got a kind of solution that I've done. I've broken it down into tasks. Do you want me to run through that? And we just put my laptop up on the screen, and then I just talk through it and share stuff. Hey, Emma, how's it going? Shout out.
Emma there from Ysgol Penrhyn Dewi.
Yeah, Penrhyn Dewi. Didn't make it, had too many. Yeah, do you know what, Emma? That's exactly what happened to me last time around. I missed the last session because I had too many year 10s and I wasn't allowed out. So,
well, speaking of a bit of support, we do, I have been sending out emails about this, which is the Key Stage 3 sessions that we want to run.
Oh, class.
We have got some good numbers in, and I have filled in a blank where people have said, oh, I'm not sure how many numbers, and roughly we're there. Ictid, where are you on this, boy? Hey? Ictid needs to get on this. Emma's on there, Anthony's on there.
He's too busy typing snarky comments about me on YouTube.
bit busy shortening his standard Welsh. But you know, get on here if you're. I'll send out the link again after this session, but do get on it because it does make a big difference if we know. Yeah, okay, these sessions are gonna, you know, be popular, and also do let us know because these are obviously meant to be precursors to the digital technology GCSE for your sort of year 9s. Where was my invite? Ted, honestly, I'll have your guts for garters. But
yeah.
But the thing with that is, I kind of want to know, do you want to have like live sessions like this? And obviously we won't do this preamble beforehand because it'll be direct to students. But do you want to have live sessions, or do you want them to be recorded stuff that you can do in your own time? Because obviously you've got timetable constraints. And I'm guessing they can't be live, can they?
I mean, you could just do them live, and then
they watch them back.
It would be hit and miss whether we've got year 9 timetabled or not.
Yeah, that's fine. So maybe, I mean, it would be good to get, you know, gauge the feeling in the room really to see whether people think, you know, if it feels live, it might be a bit more engaging. Because I often think some of the pre-cut videos, I mean, Emma's saying recorded. Yeah, we would record it, but do you want it recorded in the live format, or do you want it's going to be like spliced and diced and all that kind of stuff, which we can do? I mean, it's not about the work. That's not why we wouldn't do it. But I sometimes feel like,
speak for yourself.
Hey,
speak for yourself, Tom.
Well, you know, no, as in like, you know, it's all work, but sometimes feel like it might be easier to watch it like a live session.
Yeah, and then you might have, you know, some schools being able to join in and interact live, which
probably not that many.
Always nice. It's always nice when we do get some comments in, and we could try both ways, couldn't we?
Recorded in a live format, Anthony's saying that.
Yeah, so we could just do it live, and then
you might need to do a bit more prep though. Just a little heads up. That's all I'm saying.
What, even more prep?
Speaking of which, let's crack on.
Yeah.
What have you got for us?
So sorry. So just saying about that. So what I shared today in our networking meeting, I was thinking, I may as well share that. So we'll blast over that towards the end of today's session. So if you want to get hold of what I'm showing you later on, so it's kind of a Unit 2 progression tracker spreadsheet and a task list for all the logs that they have to do, then make sure that you've signed up to the link that's at the bottom of this video, Dom, I'm guessing. Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Everyone should be on there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing most of you are already signed up. So
you know what? I'm not sure if it is though.
If you are signed up, there we are. Honestly, if you're already signed up, then Dom will send you out a link to the stuff that I'll be showing later on. If you're not signed up, get yourself signed up so that Dom can email you links to this stuff you can swipe from us today. All right?
Yeah.
There we are. So let's jump in to today's session, which is looking at the Facebook group. So I know a lot of us kind of met on that Facebook group, really. So the Facebook group for teachers at DigiTech, there was a bit of a discussion around Unit 3 versions of the video project. And a lot of us were like, I feel a bit, I feel a bit stumped on that, because I just sent, when I sent my sample away this year, I just sent one finished Premiere Pro project. I didn't really think that I'd need to have versions, but I did see some kind of comments there, and I think Andy mentioned it, that they wanted to see versions. And also, I think there's going to be more emphasis on the refinement log, basically your screenshot document in Unit 3 than we've done. And I know that getting away from screenshots was exactly one of the main points of this new qualification. But I have seen it mentioned a few times now that the refinement log is more important than maybe we thought it was. So that's what I'm looking at today, really, is, okay, what kind of workflow can we use so that we can send off maybe 4 or 5 versions of our video project? How can we make sure that our refinement log is comprehensive enough? And how can we do that whilst ideally staying within Premiere Rush? Because as we've discussed plenty of times and won't go into now, Premiere Rush is a far nicer way of doing this video project than doing it all in Premiere Pro. Okay, so how do we get the best of both worlds, basically? Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Yeah, Ichtid. That's Ichtid's got a comment here. The refinement log would show the different versions of the video if it's done right. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's funny. I could be totally wrong with this, but that's the vibes I'm getting from comments on that Facebook group, is that they really want both. Yeah, you're right there, Emma. Size of one video / Premiere Pro project. Oh, sorry, there it is. Was big enough, let alone several versions. Yeah, so what you'd want to make sure there is that you're not duplicating. If you're going to say give 5 drafts of your Premiere Pro project in, that you're not actually giving 5 copies of the media in as well. Because ideally, Premiere Pro works by kind of referencing a folder of video clips. So if you've got 1 draft of the project or 10 drafts of the project, they should all be pointing to the same folder of video clips. So if things are set up properly, you shouldn't have 5 different sets of the same media. So yeah. Have I lost you, Dom? Have I bored you there?
No, you got me there. This is going to be an exciting one. I can feel feel the magic in the air.
Yeah. Right. So let's pop over to my screen then, which is there. Hello.
I don't even need to be here anymore, do I?
Well,
you're taking my job off me. Come on, carry on.
I was going to say. We did have a few comments today, actually, saying, can you tell Dom to stop disturbing you so much when you're in your flow?
I mean, that is the biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard. You could have a waste paper basket on the other side and you'd still go on. Go on.
Right. Okay, so let's go. Let's do this, bearing in mind that we are thinking about our end product, that zip file we've got to send up to WJC at the end. Okay, so here I am. I'm on the Premiere Rush homepage. So I'm going to jump in, create a new project. So straight away, I'm going to untick these 2 boxes at the bottom. So you got sync with Creative Cloud, no.
Because you're not allowed to.
Yeah, and copy media, no. And that is basically going to stop us from creating a duplicate copy of our video clips. Okay?
But the sync with Creative Cloud thing is basically going to stop any student from being able to work on their project outside of school.
Yeah.
I think it's important to note why.
Yeah, that's true.
And what that does, because people might make choices.
Yeah, that's true. But also from that's true in terms of following the rules. They're not allowed to work at their coursework outside of school. But also just from a purely technical point of view, if you have that ticked, your network is going to be downloading these video clips every time you log in to work on them. So user experience isn't going to be great. So you're better off keeping local, because then you're not using your internet bandwidth every time you're opening up your project. Okay, fine. So I just remember that I didn't have Premiere Pro open, so that's just opening up in the background. Right, so project name. So it's just Glasgow's just finished, so I'm gonna do a music festival.
Calon a Glasgow.
Called Gwyl y Gwendraeth.
Jesus Christ. The spelling, jeez. Give me a chance. Hang on a minute.
Oh, no.
Didn't get off that spelling. Gwyl y Glen. Gwyl y Gwendraeth.
There we are. Okay.
Draeth must mean a thing. What is that? What does Draeth mean?
Well, it actually means beach. Traeth is beach.
That's true. Yeah.
So, and then Gwen is from Gwyn, which is white.
White beach. Ooh, white sands.
So they're not quite sure. So my school is Maes y Gwendraeth, and I'm in the Gwendraeth Valley. So there's 2 rivers that kind of go through the valley. Gwendraeth Fawr and the Gwendraeth Fach. So the big Gwendraeth and the small Gwendraeth. And they think it's named after where they join together and go to the sea in the estuary there. It's in Kidwelly. Have you heard of Kidwelly, Dom?
No, haven't.
Oh, there's a medieval castle there. It's a lovely castle in Kidwelly.
What was that thing that everyone in the meeting was wanting me to do? Stop, like taking off all your thunder.
So anyway,
yeah.
There's a nice white beach in Kidwelly. So they think that maybe the rivers are named that because they end out in a nice white beach in Kidwelly. Okay, there we are. Yeah, I'm nowhere near the beach here, but there we are. The rivers get there in the end. So, Gwyl y Gwendraeth. So, Gwendraeth Festival, that means. Right, so so that's done. So now I need to find my my video clips, which I have in a folder here. Gwyl y Gwendraeth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I didn't do this today. Okay,
cool.
And then I'm just going to, you could just select them all like that.
You got these in a drive or anything?
They're just in a folder at the moment. Yeah.
Right.
So you'd definitely want to, we went over this when we did before, but you'd definitely want to have this all set up in your Unit 3 folder. And there's a folder structure there. So, if you haven't got those diagrams with folder structures, get on the mailing list with Dom and have a look back through the swag, because we sent out some nice PDFs and stuff then.
Yeah, they go out every week.
Yeah, and then media encoder then to get these into ProRes format. Okay.
Right, so you've already done that.
I hope so.
So and so
yeah, I have. Yeah,
so that is important. If you need to work that out, you need to go back and look at the previous video where we did look at that.
Yeah, and you don't need to get your wellies on too much because they were the first 2 or 3 videos we did. So you don't have to go dig in too far.
They're all in a playlist now.
Yeah,
gone pro. And your numbering here, you've deliberately numbered those in a certain way, have you?
No. So I just dragged a box over the whole lot there. Okay.
Right. It's been that's a bit weird the way it's
yeah, you're right.
Not noticed that before.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. The ideal you don't do that. You'd choose them in order.
Yeah.
So and you'd have your shot list ready. So I'd start maybe with this kind of cool drone shot above the stage. Okay. So I'll just do. Yeah. Well, for today, I'm just gonna do them randomly like that. Okay. Okay, so we're ready with that. That's great. So I'm going to click Create. Okay, I'm just going to prepare my media. It's going to bring it into Rush.
So let's just distinguish how this session is going to differ from the one that we did previously, because one of the things that we looked at before was how you can trim and snap things, and it will all stay within sequence. You can move clips about if you click and hold and drag. What is the specific kind of thing we're looking at now?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly over those. We are going to do them, but we're not going to spend so much time on them.
Yeah.
But we're going to look more at basically the workflow of how we're saving these out as projects.
Yeah.
So I think that if you've got your clips laid down in the correct order, that maybe we want to be saving that as a version straight away.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I've got them there. My clips are all there in order. Okay. Great. So I'm going to just back out to my home just to make sure that, that was all saved and set up. There it is there. Okay. And now I'm going to jump over to Premiere Pro. All right. And then bottom left in Premiere Pro, open a Premiere Rush project. Okay. And it'll show me, there it is there.
So that's your latest version.
That's my latest version, yeah. So I'm going to choose that. It's going to open it up in Premiere Pro. It's going to have a big moan about these, so I'll just offline all.
And why is it doing that?
Yeah, it's it's basically moaning that it can't find the video clips within Rush. But that's because we've chosen not to copy the media into Rush.
Got you.
But we're pointing towards that folder of video clips anyway. So when you offline it, it'll just kind of go, oh yeah, they're here. Here they are.
Yeah.
Sorry for making it. So it's basically having a bit of a hissy fit. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Right. So that's done. Okay. So we've got now, basically, I got all my clips laid out in Premiere Pro. That's all I'm going to do now is save this project as Gwyl y Gwendraeth 1. Yeah. Draft 1.
Yeah. Okay.
So, file, save. No, sorry, I need to do save as there.
Save as, yeah.
Save as. Get it into your Unit 3 folder. Okay, so if I go to Documents, I've got my DigiTech Live here, Unit 3, and then Digital Asset, and then they want them in here, in the Digital Asset. Okay? So I'm just going to call it Gwyl y Gwendraeth Draft 1. Okay, and then save. Lovely. Once you've done that, you can just close that project down in Pro, or just click on the home and just take us back to here. We'll be using this again very shortly. Okay, so now if I go back to Rush, just going to jump back into that project. And now you do, basically, if you watch the first videos, our basic block building. Okay, so that was, if you remember, my advice was that you find the best 3-ish seconds of each video clip. Do you remember that, Dom?
Yeah.
So this first clip, I'm going to just hit play. 1, 2, 3, stop, and then drag that back. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do that now for every one of these clips. Okay. So I'm not gonna take a long time on this. 1, 2, 3, out. Trim it back. Jump in the middle.
So the option to trim, don't you? Or you can slice it.
2, 3.
And
yeah, so I'm trimming. Yeah, and I'm a trimmer, but some people.
Well, I mean, they actually do the same thing, don't they? Because you can slice it, and then you can still retains the full clip, doesn't it? Doesn't actually get rid of any footage.
I'll show that now. So if I hit play now, and 1, 2, 3, stop. Now instead of dragging that back to trim it back, I can just hit the scissors or press S on my keyboard. Which I'll do right now, and you can see it's S for split. It's split that clip into 2, and grab the bit you don't want and hit backspace. Okay, so the only time I'll use that rather than trimming is if it's a really long clip. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to scroll off this, scroll the timeline across just in order to get to the end of a clip.
Yeah.
So if it's that long, then I'd cut. I'd split.
But that also depends on how zoomed in or zoomed out the timeline they are, aren't they?
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, exactly. So there we go.
I don't remember how you zoom in and out the timeline. You can, on a trackpad, you can just pinch, can't you? But
yeah, no, it's just your plus and minus.
Oh yeah, plus and minus, of course.
Yeah, so next to the number on the top number row on your keyboard, plus and minus there just zooms in and out. It's lovely that because sometimes zooming in on the timeline on different apps is,
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? It's annoying.
Yeah. Okay, so what I didn't mention there was that I think every time we go to Premiere Pro, you basically want to make sure that you've screenshot that and done a slide on your refinement log. And I think that's kind of what we need to do is... or even more often, but at least every time you go to Premiere Pro, you want to make sure that you've got a screenshot of that in your refinement log.
So as well as that copy that you saved.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a copy, was it? It was actually the
the refinement log is the king, really. So okay, so there we are. I've basically what I've done. So what's different between this and what I've already got in Premiere Pro is just that I've cut these down. Yeah. So let's do the same now then. I'm going to go back out to home, switch over to Premiere Pro, open a Premiere Rush project, Gwyl y Gwendraeth. It's going to moan that the video clips aren't in there. Offline all. There it is. And there's the video clips. And now you can see that it's been shortened.
Yeah.
So all the clips are shorter. I'm going to do File, Save As here. And this is going to be draft 2.
Right.
Into, hang on, not there. Into my digital assets folder. Digital asset. Save.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
So you don't want a separate, you don't want a draft folder where you keep all your drafts. That's not what they've not asked for that.
They haven't asked for that. I mean, I think you could. I would definitely kind of tidy up that folder. But they haven't asked for it. It's a good idea to have your media in the media sound and media folder. But then out in the kind of top level of that folder, really, you can have your final asset and then just all your Premiere Pro projects.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just back out to this project now, back to dashboard of Premiere Pro. Okay, and then back to Rush, open this up. Now, what I haven't checked is whether we actually need to be doing this in Rush, kind of backing out and going back in. Maybe we don't. Maybe should we try it this time, Dom?
Say that again. What you're not sure about?
Yeah. Well, so every time I'm going to Pro, before going to Pro, I'm kind of going back. I'm exiting my project in Rush. I'm kind of going back to my home screen every time.
Right, to make sure it.
Yeah, I've just kind of presumed I need to do it. But let's try not doing that now and see if it works.
Okay. Because stick a title in. That might be more obvious.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get some titles in. So add a title. So you can do it. There's a few different ways of doing that in Rush. So you got the blue plus button here. You can do plus and then add graphics. Or on the right hand side, you've got the title icon here, and you can add graphics there. Both of those routes just take you to here. So it doesn't matter which way you do it, basically. Okay. So I'll just add a title in something. There we are. Stylish Welcome is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. So that's in. Okay. And there it is. So I'll just get in here now and type text.
Little reminder for people on the ticker on the bottom. If you do have any Rush things that you want to see, because we're kind of presuming that, Rush is pretty straightforward. But, if there are specific things you want, do ask them now, because we probably won't go over it for quite a while. So don't feel like you can't ask. You can ask anything you like. The one thing I think Rush is brilliant for is transitions. I think it's superb for transitions.
Yeah.
I like the tech stuff. Don't get me wrong. I think it's good, but the transitions are amazing.
Yeah, and I really like the audio browser as well, the sound effects and the music.
Yeah.
I like a lot. I like everything about Rush, to be honest. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, me too.
It's it's close to iMovie, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There we are. So what I just did then, I was just duplicate that text box a load of times. And then obviously you'd go in and change the text.
Yeah.
Oops. I think I just played that instead of changing the text there. Yeah. So maybe I'll just leave all these as this text box. I don't think we need to go over that, do we, Dom? Do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Changing text.
I mean, unless people, if you do want to see stuff, let us know. Or maybe we're just banging on it and you don't need it at all.
Yeah. So maybe, maybe you could screenshot that right now and add that to your refinement log. And then maybe we don't need to export this to Premiere Pro. Maybe we could put transitions in as well.
And see whether it updates.
And then, you don't need to. So I'm just dragging transitions in.
Yeah, when I was talking about transitions, I was actually talking about the if you go to the plus in the top left and go to graphics, the graphic transitions are really good.
Oh, yeah, because they are actually kind of graphic overlays, aren't they?
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah, maybe I'll use one of those now then, Dom.
And it's really easy to personalize them as well.
Yeah, come on, let's give that a whirl instead of the. So we go plus graphics, and then I want the transition graphics.
The circle pop transition is nice. That's a really good one. A bit further down, I think.
Okay.
Go down.
Oh, I'm at the bottom.
You're at the bottom. Hang on, where are you? Oh yeah, no, it's a little bit further up. So.
Wipe.
Well, actually, maybe if you got it.
No, I don't think I got it. Maybe I need to do
that. Right.
I'll go for this guy. Block reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see there, folks. It actually looks like a text box because it's not actually a transition like we think of transition.
Yeah.
It's actually an overlay that you put as a kind of bridge between two clips. See here now that.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. So that straight cut that we've got between this clip and this clip is still there. You know, if I use the arrow keys now and just there we are, you can see there's the cut there.
Yeah.
So what you want to do with these transitions usually is line up. The transition will usually kind of hide everything at some point.
Yeah.
You know? So that is the point in the transition where the video layer underneath is hidden. So you kind of want to line that up so that when it opens,
might need to zoom into the timeline for that.
Yeah. So you kind of want to drag this over.
Yeah, it's always easier, isn't it, to
there we go.
If you're doing things like this, to zoom right in.
Yeah. So there, I'm on clip A there, the guitar, and the transition's coming up, and then it's gonna hide everything. Oh, that's clip B. See, you see it's flashing there.
Yeah.
So I just need to come back a little bit more. There we go.
Yeah, perfect. Nice.
Okay, but as you say, yeah, they're worth playing around with. And you can as well, just if people are not sure, you can stack text above. That's it though. We're maxed out. You can have a video layer and another 2 above, and then that's it with Rush. Okay, you are maxed out then. Okay, cool. So I've got transitions and I've got my text. So let's see.
You got 3 layers above.
Have you?
Yeah, you should have. Yeah. What have you got?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, guys. Yeah, it's 3, not Okay, so you can't add any more than that. 3 layers above. Which I
think that would only be good if you were probably having 2 bits of video alongside each other.
Yeah, and for the Unit 3, you definitely wouldn't need need more than that. Definitely not. Right, so let's experiment now then, because I haven't tried this. So let's do a live experiment because they never go wrong. What happens if I try and open this up in Premiere Pro without closing the project in Rush?
So we've got text and we've got graphic transitions.
Yeah, and I think I probably would have done. I'd have done 2 screenshots into my refinement log for this one draft. I'd have screenshotted with just the text added, and then I'd screenshot again, having added my transitions as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch over to Premiere Pro and see if I can open this up without closing the project in Rush.
Yeah, I feel like it probably is not going to work.
Yeah, maybe not.
Interesting to see.
Yeah, maybe not. That's a funny little.
Although it probably does auto save, doesn't it?
Let's just see, because guaranteed kids are going to try it.
Yeah. Well, if they don't try it, they'll try it by accident.
Yeah, no, it didn't like that at all. No. So yeah, I do need to. So to open it up in Premiere Pro, I just need to click on the T-bar tut, the little house.
Right.
And it's nearly like kind of saving it, isn't it? although it does save automatically. And now I'm back in Pro. Open up a Premiere Rush project.
Yeah, it's saying here, Rush auto saves regardless of whether the project sync is enabled. Variety of actions trigger the app to save immediately, including importing and deleting media, adding a title, and of course, closing a project. I feel like you're just better off closing it.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, it didn't work when I didn't close it, and now I'm closing it. And yeah, so now you can see there in Pro, I've got all my transitions in, all my text is there.
Yeah, okay,
my transition graphic is there as well.
Yeah.
So that's great. So again, when we're in Pro, we don't need to do anything. You don't need to touch anything. We're literally just opening it in Pro and then going File, Save As. You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything in Pro at all.
Right.
So I'm just going to make sure that it goes to the right place. Unit 3, digital asset, and this is Gwyle Gwen Drive, draft 3. Save. Cool. And then I'll just go back home there. Back to Rush. Open up a project. Is this a faff? Yeah, a bit. Is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. I think
no.
The fun of working in Rush is definitely worth this kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So in Rush, one thing that I really don't like is that when you have some clips with sound and some without.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I expand that, so there's a button here that expands the audio. Okay, you can see there that some of these clips I've downloaded have got audio on them.
But you're thinking that you don't want audio on any of them.
Well, yeah, that's it. You either want it on everything or you want none.
Yeah.
So Nearly, if you want to keep this audio, you're going to want to add sound effects to every clip. Otherwise, it's really off-putting even when there's music on, when you just get kind of ambient sound jumping in and out,
Yeah.
So
you're better off just turning off the track.
Yeah, I think
volume,
you're better off just getting rid of the audio on all of these, really.
Well, you don't have to get rid of it. You could, if you do the bottom left little toggle there.
Yeah.
And then you could just turn off the track volume on the left.
Yeah, so options there for that is, as Dom says, if you kind of go into Pro view, this is kind of your, mega view, stepping into the matrix. You could just mute that.
Mute.
And it's mute. Yeah, it's grayed out all of those audio tracks. If you didn't want to do that, say you wanted more fine control, say I wanted to just turn one of them down or two of them down, you could select the clip and then open up your audio tab on the right-hand side. And you could just turn the volume down for that clip.
Yeah, or mute it, yeah.
Or mute it, yeah. Or if you're a bit like me and you really don't want audio, so I don't even want to see that it exists, you could detach the audio. So I could just highlight all my video clips. Right. Oh, no, not that. Oh, not that. Where's the old detached audio?
That's no, you'd have to do it. You'd have to do it clip by clip.
Oh, is it? I'm sure I've done it before. Have you got to do?
You'd have to do separate audio because it goes down onto another timeline then.
Yeah, there we are. Separate audio and then delete it. Oh, you're not going to
do that.
Can
you do it all as one though? Not sure you can.
No. Oh, you're not going to do that for every clip, are you?
Well, you haven't got that many clips, have you?
No. I think,
Not a massive deal.
Muting all the audio there is probably the best thing to do, isn't it? I think. And then if I just collapse it like that, there we are. It doesn't have to bother me too much. Right, so there we are. I got no sound now, which is great. So let's get some music in. So plus, let's get some audio in, and then
isn't this the one where it has to be an original track?
Well, you've got to look. So you've got to say where you got it from. So ideally, we were downloading stuff from Ben Sound or somewhere like that, and then just dragging them in. But if you put in your log that you're using a certain track and it comes from Adobe Premiere Rush soundtrack library, I don't think there's an issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to have original something in this, and it doesn't even have to be sound. It could be an original logo or something like that. You need to create original media. So one of the things we decided was, well, one of the most sensible and meaningful things to add is a voiceover to something like this.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So it's just, if you've got to make something original, a voiceover makes sense. Because in the exemplar, not that I always want to keep trashing the exemplar, but in the exemplar, they've done like a photo collage in Photoshop and brought that in. And to me, that feels a bit, what's the word?
Contrived.
Contrived, that's exactly the word. Well done, Dom. Yeah.
There you go.
It's kind of been shoehorned in.
Yeah. I suppose the one thing about the voiceover is you might get some students who are like, I don't feel comfortable doing a voiceover in the classroom with other people.
Yeah. Well, some people in that Facebook group have been using like an online text
generator,
downloading the audio clip, and it is original media because it didn't exist before we did that. So I wouldn't really want to do that, and I can't because I do it in Welsh, so it wouldn't work. And my kids, even the quiet ones, actually quite enjoy doing voiceovers.
Well, if it works, it works.
Yes, but
there's lots of different ways they can do that. They could also put in like a sound effect, couldn't they? They could also fake a sound effect.
Yeah, they could record a sound effect. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, one thing might be crowd screaming. Get the whole class to scream.
Yeah.
Record it, stick it in. Everyone's done original media.
Yeah. You're right. But also remember that we were talking in this Unit 3, we do create an original logo as well for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also original media. So you could get away with only making a logo. But I think it's nice anyway to do the voiceover. Yeah. It's fun, isn't it? Right, anyway, so soundtrack. Yeah, so if you're playing it safe, you've probably downloaded it and you're just going to import it using this plus add media. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll do that anyway then, so that I don't get told off. So plus add your media. Now then, I should have something in my downloads.
You got anything from your band?
No.
Any Backstreet Boy covers?
Any more Backstreet Boys? We do Backstreet's Back. Actually.
We do Backstreet Boys.
They do that though, don't they? No. We got
the old North Walian accent. You can't always keep ripping on them. Come on.
No, I can't. No, that was meant to be a Scouser there. I can't find. No, that's actually a friend of mine, Norman, who I used to work with. He's a violin teacher. He's an amazing violin player, and he's from there. And he was saying that about something, He says they do
though, don't they though?
They do that though, don't they though? Yeah.
They do though, don't they though?
They do that though, don't they though?
No, you haven't got it. You missed it.
I have. Sorry. I'll just stick to what I know. Right.
So when you actually do select that soundtrack, you've got to bear in mind how long your full clip is, and just make sure that the one you're choosing is longer, or at least almost exactly the same length.
Yeah, and most of these social media stuff, they're all going to be under a minute. So you usually
there are some longer tracks, to be fair.
Yeah, you won't usually run into problems with that.
No.
But they do that, they don't. Right. So this is an example of where I do split rather than trim. If you got your music track, I don't want to scroll over here and drag this all the way back, Yeah. So I'm just going to come to here, split this track, pressing S or the scissors, and then get rid of that bit. There we go. And then if I want to fade out, then I can just add a dissolve transition to that.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom in on it and just drag that. Just extend that transition a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe trim it back.
Yeah.
In line. Cool. That end definitely needs a transition on that video clip. So just, there we go. There we are, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and then another, so you'd take another copy now, would you?
Yeah, maybe, and maybe, do you know what? Maybe I should have screenshotted adding the music and then screenshotted cutting it. You know? I think that's 2 screenshots in the refinement log.
A lot of screenshots.
I know, and I hate. I'm one of the guys who always moaned about death by screenshot. So please don't listen to me thinking, oh, this guy's obsessed with screenshots. I've got this kind of pit of dread in my stomach that's what they actually want to see.
Yeah. Too many screenshots, says Anthony. Yeah, I hear you. I do hear you.
I totally agree, Anthony. I totally agree. And the whole rationale was that sending our project files away meant that we don't need to do any screenshots. Really, if you're sending Premiere Pro projects away, especially if you're out exporting like 4 or 5 versions.
Well, it's kind of one or the other, isn't it? You think, why save a copy? Just do screenshots, and then at the end have your finished article.
Or if they said, look, we don't want you to do any screenshots at all, but you have to send us 5-ish versions, you'd be like, okay, fine, that's worth it.
I think it makes more sense to do the screenshots, to be fair, because it's you could just have them in a folder and they could just scroll through them.
Yeah, it doesn't slow you down as much, you know.
No, exactly. Otherwise, you're opening up anyway.
Yeah, but you know,
this is above our pay grade.
Well, this is why I brought it up. Really, is because I saw this discussion on the Facebook group, and I thought, right, okay, well, that's not what a lot of us have done this year, you know. I'm sure, you know, I'm hopeful that we're not going to get penalised for it, and I'm quite confident we're not going to get penalised for it because it's the first year. But I'm expecting maybe in my moderator's report that it's going to say you should include more steps in the refinement log, and you should include more versions of the video project. No, I'm expecting that.
I just can't imagine an examiner is going to look through hundreds of projects from hundreds of students where they could just have a folder with screenshots where they could just flick through, look at the end one, go, yeah, it's all that.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
I know. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer when we get our reports. Like you're saying, Anthony, it just slows the kids down. It does.
Yeah.
It does. I know, and I hate being the guy that's telling you how to slow your kids down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to help you not get, you know, pulled up on stuff. So that's where we're at, isn't it, Dom? Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think it would have been a good idea for me to just screenshot it, showing the whole audio track, and then screenshot again into the refinement log, showing that I've cut it down and added that transition at the end. So we're then I'm gonna save it off again. So back out, over the rush. You know, this jumping back and forth is less hassle than I thought it was going to be.
It's not a big deal, I don't think.
Well, it's not. Saying that,
it's not a big deal.
Yeah, saying that, my music hasn't come in now. So yeah,
right.
Let's try that again. Maybe I didn't wait for this to load properly.
Yeah.
Wait
for the thumbnails to come in.
Yeah, I think, you know, those ones with like that video clip icon. I think you've got to go for the first one with the thumbnail. Let's try that. I think that's what it is. You got to ignore these ones with this video clip. And yeah, see, my music's there now.
Oh, right. That's interesting.
I don't know what those little thumbnails with the video clip icon on are, but they're not. You don't want to click on those. You want to click on the first one with an actual picture. Yeah, and also don't be scared. Don't be frightened. It dumps your music right down there.
Right.
On audio 33. Okay.
Right.
So it is there. Scroll down. So yeah, let's file, save as. What are we on now? Oh, is it
4? It must be 5, yeah.
Documents. 3, digital asset, and yeah, it's 4. Yeah, Google Gwendryth, draft 4. Okay, cool. So we're nearly getting there now, really. Okay.
Yeah.
So back on Rush. What would I do then? Well, I'd add in some sound effects and I'd do some voiceover. So just in case we're not sure on that, we'll do a quick voiceover now. So to add, the easiest way to add voiceover is click on the plus and choose voiceover. And then it's going to suggest a track. Okay, so just check that it's not going to record the voiceover over your music or anything crazy like that. But that's fine. Look, it's putting it on this empty track here. And then once you're ready, you're just going to hit this record button, this red circle here. It's going to count us down. Hi there. And then we're going to record a voiceover. And remember the hack, get a coat over your head. Okay, make a huge difference. Massive difference. Night and day difference. Okay. 3, 2. Welcome. Stop. What have I done?
You didn't wait for a couple of seconds.
Well, I didn't mute the music. So now my music is just going to come over the microphone. So remember to mute your music track so that there's no actual sound coming out of your speakers, your computer speakers, into the microphone. Okay, let's try again. Go to recording, leave a second or two, and then start. Come to Gwyl Gwendryth. We've got the best DJs, crazy light shows, slow motion drummers, disco balls. I'm not.
Ran out of puff.
I don't know.
His life.
Right. So again, I'm just gonna trim this out. Okay, and then whatever. Okay, we've done this before. If you're not sure what I'm doing here, jump back into these sessions. It's video 1, 2, and 3. I'm just splitting that up now. So I recorded it as 1, but I've just split it up. So then let's get the music back. And then this is the cool bit with the music is we want that to duck. So and click on my music, and then over on the right hand side in the audio panel, I'm gonna do auto duck, auto volume. We'll do that. Okay, and you can see it's automatically bringing the volume of the music down underneath the voiceover.
Yeah.
And if I move the voiceover, it adjusts the ducking.
Beauty. That's the beauty.
And if the gap between 2 voiceover clips isn't very big, it won't actually bring it back up at all. You see?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's super cool. Super cool. Yeah. Now, this again now would be a good time for us to export. And we're nearly there, I'd say. Okay. So let's do, we'll back out of that. Jump over to Premiere Pro. And I'm going to go and do the same again. Open a Premiere Rush project. Yeah, so I reckon these first 3 here with this kind of movie clip icon are not what I want. These are not the clips you were looking for.
Right.
So I guess this first one with an actual picture on it. And we'll see now, because if it's got the voiceover, I'm correct. Offline all. And is there a voiceover? Yes, there is.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
All right. Cool. Right. So I'm going to save this file. Save as. This is Gwyl Gwendryth 5, draft 5. And now we're actually going to stay in Premiere Pro for our final step.
Gosh and blur.
Because the only thing we can't do basically in Rush is add any kind of meaningful video effect. Okay, so I'll just zoom in. Works the same on Premiere Pro and Rush. You wouldn't have thought it'd be that joined up with you. There we are. So what I'm going to do on this final clip here is I want it to be blurred. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you can go crazy and find out, different effects if you want, but I'm not going to do that. So I've clicked on the clip here. Okay. And now I want to find a Gaussian blur. So I click here, and I'm going to go to my effects. And I'm going to go into the video effects. And you can see straight away that working in Premiere Pro is quite a scarier experience, isn't it, than Rush. You immediately feel like, oh, I could mess stuff up here big time. Now, please feel free to experiment with other video effects. Okay, I always talk about Gaussian blur because, to be honest with you, all the rest of them they're just too cheesy for me. But if you can go in, should we do? We'll tell you what. Let's do a different one because I always do blur. So let's do something else. Let's do something silly like a mosaic effect. Okay, so I got this mosaic effect. So I'm going to drag it onto that clip. You can see there now what it's done up here. It's totally ruined it. And up on the top left, then you've got your effect controls. Okay, and you'll see that it's added this mosaic effect into the list of effects.
Right, so you could play around with that.
And now you've got horizontal blocks, not horizontal blocks, horizontal blocks and vertical blocks. So if I increase that, it's actually going to bring more detail back.
Yeah.
So you could that's quite cool if you got not very many vertical blocks, but a lot of horizontal blocks.
And it's still a bit bizarre, isn't it? But I get what you're saying.
It's totally weird. Yeah, it's totally weird. So yeah, but you could do that, can you? Because at the end of the day, they're gonna want to see, have you used an effect? Oh, I can't handle it, to be honest with you, Dom. I hate it. I think I'm gonna put them up really high. There we are, so that I can see it better. There we go.
Yeah.
If I go like 100 and something each. Yeah, there we are. Okay, at least it's a picture of something now. There we are. So nobody can deny that I've used an effect there. And you can stack effects as well. I could use posterize as well on it. So posterize is here, so I can just turn that up.
So once they've got that effect on there, it's another screenshot and it's another copy.
And this is going to be my final draft then.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So there we are. I'm done there. There we are. That's my final draft. Okay. I'm really happy with that. I love that mosaic effect. I think it's really really professional looking.
Go Gaussian blur. That's what we're saying.
Yeah. It's just classy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
what's wrong with being a bit classy? Right. So now I'm going to save this again. So this is the only time that I've stayed within Premiere Pro to do everything. So I'm going to do now file, save as, and I'm going to save this as Gwyl y Gwendraeth final. Okay, so Unit 3, digital asset, Gwyl y Gwendraeth, and usually I like to shout that in caps, final. Okay, and this as well then is where you'd be exporting your final digital asset. Okay,
yeah.
So here I am. So I'm gonna just click the share button there. Okay, and we're gonna go. I want to make sure that this goes into the correct place. Oh, I think it already is. That was just an accident, so I'll just make sure of it. Unit 3, digital asset. And the final name needs to be digital asset final.
Right.
Okay. So the reason I've already got one is that's what I created when we made our the cafe, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I'll just do that now. Save. Yeah, so I'll replace it. I'm not precious. In terms of these quality, people were having trouble with uploads with file sizes.
So keep it reasonable.
Emma, I think you were mentioning that. So I would try and stick with 720 or 1080. That kind of, you know,
yeah.
A 1080 is kind of standard high def. So, you know, ideally you'd want to export in 1080. I don't think you need to worry about 4K. Your file size is going to be ridiculous.
No,
4K.
That's way too much, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'd go for that for 1080, but it does give you an estimated file size.
Right.
Okay. So if that looks as if that's going to be crazy, so say if it looks as if it's going to be anything over 150 meg, then maybe drop it down to 720.
Yeah.
So if I drop to 720, you can see it halves.
There's no specifics on what it should be then, is there?
No. And the thing is as well, WJC themselves sent out videos on how to reduce the quality of the videos in order to get them uploaded.
Right.
I know that maybe if I head off a question, because maybe somebody's going to come with a question and say, well, what about if you've got 150 meg final video, but then add all of the video clips in the folder that you're sending off? Maybe you're going to be over your 300 meg limit.
Right.
Okay. Now, that is a very good point. What I would do, and what I did do this summer, was I kept the final exported asset at a good quality. So
and everything else.
And then for the ones then that were in the sample, I just ran their media folder through Media Encoder and crushed them down. You know what I mean?
Right.
To something dreadful. Because that's all that's going to do is that if the moderator opens up your Premiere Pro project, then the video quality inside Premiere Pro isn't going to be as crispy as your final video. But call me an old cynic, but I think that they're more likely to just open up your Premiere Pro project and go, yep, that's a timeline, and close it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna be scrubbing through your video in Premiere Pro. I think they literally want to open it up and see nearly just they want to see a timeline evolving through your Premiere Pro projects. I don't think they're actually going to be scrubbing through and looking at it. That's what I would do. I'd keep the final video at a good quality and then crush the original media down to whatever it needs to be to get under the file size.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there we are. That's another session done and dusted.
Yeah, we haven't done the swipe file that I was talking about, which is this thing. But maybe we can
have a look at that next week.
Next week, yeah, because that's Unit 2 anyway, and today's all been Unit 3. So sorry if we've been hanging around for this whole video because you wanted to hear about this. But we'll start off with this next week when we're talking about this tracker, and I'll tell you how it works, and we'll send out a link to it. So there we are, Dom. Thanks very much for that. I really enjoyed that today.
Yeah, good man. Well done. Well, I've got to go and get the kids, so we'll sign off and say thanks very much. Nice one for coming, and we'll send out all the links. And Icted, I'll make sure you get a link to that Key Stage 3 DigiTech prep sessions that we're going to do, and we'll send that out to everyone as well. Yeah, cool. Handbrake, that was recommended, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it works the same as Media Encoder, so yeah, whatever works for you, really. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that next week maybe as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Right, good man. Diolch yn fawr, and see you next week.
Hwyl fawr.
All right, cheers. Ta-da.
Ta-da.